Okay, well, let's see what happens. I got all my trades set up here, ready to go. 3 different trades, 3 different accounts, but I have to wait. I almost got triggered into this trade right here because price had come all the way down real fast. It almost triggered me in, but I want that pivot level to be swept or I'm not going to get into my first trade. I got my plan all set, where I'm going to get in, where I'm going to get out for trade 1. If it continues to go down, we will stop out, and then we will get into our second trade, which is at another pivot level, specifically designed to wait for liquidity sweeps, which is what I love. So let's look at it. If this triggers me in here, my stop loss is down here at this next pivot level. What's interesting about this next pivot level is that we will enter our second trade right before, if it were to come down and sweep the level, we'll already be in it. And then this will stop out. So we'll be out of that trade for the set amount of risk. If it continues to go down, if the price just drops.
Order filled.
Okay, we got triggered into our first trade. I just heard it. See what it did? It came down and triggered us in. Now, I don't know if it's going to keep going up or not, but we could set our stop loss at break even, or we could just be brave and let it ride up $100, take the quick profit. Now, my first trade is with the simulator. At some point, I need to, my other accounts are set for the real money. I like to take my first trade on the simulator until I build more confidence in this system. So we'll see what happens here with this first trade. Very interesting, very interesting. So we got triggered in. I waited for it to come all the way down. I didn't want to get in way up here. I said, this is my plan. Let it sweep this pivot level. So all this morning I've been waiting. It triggered me in. Stop loss is at this next pivot level. The only reason we're taking these trades is because it's bullish. There's reason to the madness. I'm not just blindly taking trades on any stock for any reason. Okay, now this could definitely come down and stop me out of all 3 accounts, which I'll try it 3 times as long as the chart looks bullish, and after that I'll stop and I'll switch to my scalping strategies, which is very small risk. This is a $250, $300 risk limit per trade, and the chart's bullish. So I'm not just doing this on any chart, and there's a reason why. I'm willing to take 3 trades, 3 stabs at it, 3 liquidity sweeps, 3 support levels. There's a reason why. Okay, so we're in the first trade. Let's just go over this real quick. I'm set to stop out if it breaks this pivot level, but I'm triggered to get in right before. So I'll be in trade 2 before trade 1 is actually out, but it's a transition from trade 1 to trade 2. If it keeps going, I'll switch from one account to the other. I hope that makes sense to everybody. Okay. So let's let this baby ride up to target 1. I will be happy to hit a target 1 on this. And even though it's a simulator, that's okay. This is all helping my psychology, my confidence, and I'm already up 100. And yeah, I see I could take it right now. I just want to. No. Hold it for hold it for target 1. You have to make yourself hold it. I demand and command you. Talking to myself. You will hold it. And last time we did this, it almost hit target 1, and then it came all the way down, and I moved to break even, and it stopped me out. I don't know if anybody saw that live stream, But that's what happened when I should have moved my stop loss to this pivot level. So what I'll do this time is if I'll either take it when it gets close, because I messed. Ooh, it was so close. Or I will just come to this pivot level here and have a little tiny stop loss instead of the stop loss that comes down here. The problem with that is if it stops me out and goes back up, then I'm not in trade 2. The point is you always want to be in a trade. The point of this strategy is that you're trading one account for another, getting a better price in the second account, and you're always in a trade because you believe the market is bullish. That's the only reason to do it, because you believe the market is bullish. You don't want to be out of a trade. So you're transitioning from one Apex account to the other. I got to get through the psychological and emotional obstacles, and the only way to do it is to force myself to stick to my plan. You got to stick to your plan, and don't worry if you lose. That's just so personality changing. I mean, it's you got to be a different person than when you start. When you start trading, you're like a baby, and you got to grow up to be a man, and you got to do things that you would never do. It's very difficult to do, and it doesn't matter if you lose. It doesn't matter who's watching you lose. It doesn't matter who laughs at you lose. It doesn't matter how bad it feels. Got to get through the idea of losing, and you got to understand that losing is part of winning. I don't care. If it starts me out here, I'll almost be relieved, and then I'll be in trade 2, and we'll see what happens. Because I did this one time, and I lost my first trade, I lost my second trade, and my third trade was a winner. And I think if I remember correctly, if I would have held it beyond 1-to-1, I would have made back I would have been winner that day. But I had a loss because the first 2 losers were greater than the winner. The winner was big, but it wasn't enough to cover the 2 losers. But if I would have held the winner, you see, it would have made up for it. And I didn't hold it. I just wanted to grab that win and feel better. And I have to be willing to, at some point, accept the fact that all 3 accounts will be hit for a loss one day. That's going to happen. It's probably going to happen more than once. It hasn't happened to me yet. I'm dreading it, but I have to, in order to get to the next level, I have to go through that. You have to go through 10 losses in a row. You have to go through blowing up accounts. You have to go through the worst case scenarios to get through all that on the other side. And that's what people can't make it in this business. They just can't tolerate the downside. They can't handle the war. I want to break even on this thing right now so badly. I wanted to take my $140 profit when it got up here so badly. And you're always going to have people watching and say you should have done that. The people that don't understand the process of professional trading, they always think that you should have done it differently. And when you get in it and do it with your own emotion and your raw mind, so I don't care if I lose all 3 of these accounts today, a small loss. I'm not going to lose any account, by the way. This is just a $300 loss per account. You got a $2,500 drawdown on the 50Ks. $2,500. I'm only going to lose $300. Nothing to cry about. Okay, what's the fear? The fear is I don't want to lose, and I hate losing. That's really the obstacle we all have to overcome. Hating to lose and not wanting to lose is the enemy of day trading. It makes you do irrational things. It makes you break your rules. It makes you get out early. It makes you take profits early. It makes you move your stop loss. It makes you dollar cost average. So I have accepted the idea that it's possible. I'll take a $900 loss, $300 per account. I have 5 accounts. I'm only using 3. And I actually bought last night 2 more Apex Combine accounts that I just got last night. So I got 30 days to pass them. I could probably use one of those today, actually, or both of them. I might just, I don't know what we're doing. I got my plan. I just don't know which accounts I want to use. I've already got my stop losses, my entries, everything's all set. The second trade happens over here. We might as well look at that. I entered that trade right there after the liquidity sweep. Now my stop loss is down here. The transition from the second trade to the third trade is right here at this pivot level. If it comes down to that pivot level, I trigger into my third, or is it, no, trade 2. Here's all the information. Stop loss entry right here takes place. And then my stop loss is where? At another pivot level down here behind my head. Right here, this pivot level here is where the transition from trade 2 to trade 3 takes place at reasonable places. This isn't just pulled out of the sky. I hate having my transition in a place that's not sensible. And that's why I am doing 3 trades today, because it is sensible. I only did 2 trades yesterday because I couldn't find a reasonable and sensible place to transition from trade 2 to trade 3. Okay, so now we're just waiting. Let's take a look at trade 3 real quick. Trade 3. Let's take a look at trade 3. Well, I enter right here. I hadn't had time to. I need about a half an hour to get this set up in the morning, and I only did 20 minutes. I buy right there, and I don't really want to be in it if it closes below these lines, because what we have in these lines is yesterday's high and the low of today. And if it goes that far down and consolidates and goes, then I definitely want to be out. So this lines up beautifully. Let me see. I couldn't ask for a better structure setup today. Yep, look at that. The stop loss will put me right around 271 once it goes under that red line, which is the low of today. I don't want price to fall below the high of today, which is that high of yesterday. So it's above the high of yesterday. I don't want price to go below the high of yesterday or the low of today, which is really technically where it could bounce. I mean, the worst case scenario is I get stopped out of all 3 accounts and it comes down, stops me out of my third account, decides to go back up for a major run. Now, if you can't handle that, you're in the wrong business. That is exactly what could happen, and it will tick me off. And this is what puts people on tilt, and they just start dollar cost. Yeah, I've done it. I've done it. Start moving your stop loss. Start moving your stop loss down further. Oh boy. Here's my stop loss. And it gets down. I start moving it. Start moving it. Start moving it. Start moving it. You will never, ever make money if you do that. I will never, ever, ever move a stop loss unless I'm moving it to break even or into profit or reducing my risk. I'll move it in favor, but I won't move it further out. Never, 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 never. So we entered in up here. I just want to keep an eye on, that's where I entered my first trade up here. So we're in the red. First trade, okay. Okay, so just be ready for the worst case scenario. Don't be surprised, don't be shocked. It happens. Don't get mad, don't throw a fit. You could be disappointed. Some people say trade without emotion. Good luck, that's impossible. I'm not a robot. We have emotion, but you can't let the emotion dictate your trading principles. You just can't. You just can't. Okay. You just can't. $54.42.
Stop filled.
Okay, we stopped out of trade 1 and triggered into trade 2, and this thing is going straight down. Like I said, worst case scenario. Trade 1 stopped out. That was the simulator. And I'm okay with that. Good grief.
Order filled.
knows what it's going to do, buddy boy. All right, just trying to get that documentation going here. Stopped out of trade 1, entered into trade 2. Stopped out of trade 1 and entered into trade 2. Got it. Trade 2, we enter in right there. Okay, let's see what happens. All right, so let's get back into trade. Good, let's go. This is trade 2 right here. Did I trigger into trade 3? Oh my gosh, I'm in trade 3. Oh, I triggered out of... Oh crap, I gotta stop out of this thing.
Order filled.
Yeah, you gotta stop out of trade 2. What you doing? I didn't have my stop loss in there. What happened? All right, it's gonna stop me out of all 3. I bet you anything. I didn't have my stop loss for trade 2. I got out just in time before it kept going down. Thank goodness. Okay, worst case scenario. Is it going to stop me out of all 3 and then go right back up? That is possible, and you have to be willing to accept that. Yes, indeedy. You have to be willing to accept that, my friend. You have to be willing to accept that. Here it comes to previous day's high. Hopefully it'll bounce right here. This is the last draw. If it stops me out, where's trade 3? Let's go to trade 3 real quick. Trade 3 is right here. And then my bullish case will be no longer in existence because, you know, I was counting on this bullish move and all these pivot levels to hold. And if it doesn't and it closes
Stop
down,
filled.
okay, we're out. And that's the worst case scenario. Now, the worst case scenario is if it goes right back up from here. If it keeps going down, we did the right thing. We did the right thing. So I'll let you know how that goes. I don't know if I want to keep videotaping it because I don't know if I'm going to keep trading this unless I switch gears and get into my scalping strategies, which I probably should do, and start shorting this thing. I don't think I'm not very emotional about, I definitely feel it in my stomach that I'm mad that it happened and I'm disappointed that it happened, but it's really not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Not as bad as I thought it was going to be. So let's do these Apex accounts real quick. Let's pass one of these bad boys while we're in the process here. Apex. Okay, so let's do it. Let's do 10 micros and 10 micros. And we're going to short the market and buy the market. And from what I understand, you can pass it one day.
Order filled. Order filled. Stop filled.
Wait a minute, what just happened? I don't want any stop loss on this thing. None. Okay, none. What happened? What happened? Oh, we hit 300 and we lost 300. Okay, so that's... None. Okay, so which one profited? Okay, so it looks like we're going to buy and short. Okay.
Order
Buy 10,
filled.
sell
Order
10.
filled.
Not 1. 10. 10. So sell
Order
market,
filled.
buy
Order
market.
filled.
Okay, whichever one gets to 52.6 the fastest will pass. So while waiting for that to cook, we could see that 3 losses. I had some. One of them was my simulator, so that's good. Took my profits from last night and took what 309, 306. We're still above 50. We haven't lost all of our profits since we started the account. We're still above water. We're trying to get to 52,900 to take a payout. These are my 2 new Apex accounts here. And we're trying to get to 5,200 and 52,500 to pass the account. $25. $25. 26 is the one that was doing good. What the heck? What the heck happened?
Order filled.
Why? I didn't sell anything. I didn't have a stop loss. What's going on? 25?
Order submitted. Order submitted.
Okay, well, we're ending the live stream. I don't know what's going on with that, but those are practice accounts. Those are Apex accounts. I don't know why it automatically closed me out. Now I can't take any trades in them, so that's just weird. All right, so we're ending the live stream. We'll see you next time. Let it all process in the mind and become a better trader. Stick to your plan. Don't break your rules, and everything will work out in the long